Okay. I never thought I would say this out loud, but what happened after my son's funeral changed my life forever. If something like this ever happened to you, tell me in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because what I'm about to share with you is beyond imagination. My name is Margaret Collins, I'm 56 years old, and I live in a quiet little town in Pennsylvania. At least, it used to be quiet before death knocked on my door and then whispered a secret that tore my world apart. 2 months ago, I buried my only son, Ethan. He was just 28. Smart, kind, stubborn sometimes, but he was my everything. The doctors said it was a car accident, instant death. The coffin was closed because, they claimed, the injuries were too severe for me to see him one last time. I remember standing at the graveside, clutching the cold roses in my hand, unable to breathe. My daughter-in-law, Melissa, stood beside me. She was crying, but something about her tears felt rehearsed. I tried not to notice. My heart was too broken to care. That night, I sat alone in Ethan's room, running my fingers over his childhood trophies, his guitar leaning against the wall, his worn-out baseball cap still hanging on the hook. That's when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. It said, "Mom, don't cry. I'm not dead." I froze. My hands shook so badly I dropped the phone. My heart pounded against my chest. I picked it up again, staring at the glowing screen, waiting for the words to vanish like some cruel hallucination. But they didn't. They were there. I whispered to myself, this isn't real. Ethan is gone. I buried him. I saw his coffin lowered into the ground. Still trembling, I typed back, "Who is this? Don't play games with me." The reply came instantly. "It's me, your son. Don't trust Melissa." My blood ran cold. The next day, I tried to dismiss it. Maybe someone hacked his old phone number, or maybe it was some sick prank. But then, I saw him. Yes, I saw Ethan. Or at least, someone who looked exactly like him. I was walking home from the grocery store, my arms heavy with bags, when across the street, near the old gas station, a man stood, half hidden by the shadows. He wore Ethan's favorite brown leather jacket, the same one I buried him with. My heart almost stopped. "Ethan?" I whispered, dropping a bag of apples that rolled across the sidewalk. The man looked at me, same hazel eyes, same crooked smile, and then he ran. I wanted to chase him, scream his name, but my body refused to move. I stood frozen, breathless, with only one thought pounding in my head. If that wasn't Ethan, who was buried in my son's grave? When I told Melissa what I saw, she laughed. A cold, dismissive laugh. "Margaret, you're grieving. You're hallucinating. Ethan is gone. You have to accept it." But there was something in her tone. Something sharp, like she wanted me to stop digging before I uncovered a truth she didn't want me to find. That night, another text came. "Mom, don't trust her. She wants everything Dad left behind." I stared at the message until tears blurred my vision. My husband, Ethan's father, had passed away 5 years earlier, leaving behind our family house and some savings. Was Melissa trying to take it all? The thought of losing Ethan was unbearable. But the thought that he might still be alive, that was worse. Because it meant I buried someone else. The days that followed were a blur of whispers, shadows, and half-truths. I started noticing things. Melissa making secret phone calls late at night. A set of documents on the dining table that disappeared the moment I walked in. And once, while cleaning, I found a second set of house keys hidden in her purse. But the real shock came one evening when I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, I almost collapsed. There he was, standing right there. Ethan. Or his ghost. Or his double. "Mom," he whispered, his voice trembling. "It's me. I can't explain everything right now, but you have to believe me. Melissa isn't who you think she is." I reached out to touch his face. Warm. Alive. Not a dream. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I whispered his name. But before I could say another word, headlights swept across the driveway. Melissa's car. Ethan's eyes widened with fear. "I have to go. Don't tell her you saw me." And just like that, he vanished into the night, leaving me trembling on the porch, clutching my pounding chest, knowing one thing for certain. My son was alive. But if he was alive, then who was buried in his grave? I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Ethan's face. Alive. Breathing. Terrified. I sat by the window until dawn, waiting, hoping he would come back. But he didn't. Instead, Melissa walked into the kitchen the next morning, humming as she poured herself coffee, as if nothing had happened. Her eyes scanned me. "Rough night?" she asked. I forced a smile. Couldn't sleep. But deep inside, something snapped. I couldn't keep pretending anymore. That afternoon, I went to the cemetery. The grass over Ethan's grave was still fresh, the soil dark and damp. I stared at the headstone. Ethan Collins, beloved son. 1997 to 2025. My knees buckled as I whispered, "If you're not here, then who are you?" Suddenly, I noticed something strange. The dirt near the grave had been disturbed, as if someone had been digging recently. My stomach churned. Was Melissa involved? Was there something hidden beneath? Before I could think further, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Mom, you're close. Don't trust anyone. Meet me tonight at the old barn outside town." My heart pounded so loudly I thought it might burst. At 9 p.m., I drove to the barn. The place smelled of dust and rust. A single bulb flickered overhead. And then he stepped out of the shadows. "Ethan." "Mom," his voice cracked. "I don't have much time. They're watching me." I grabbed his hands. "Ethan, please, just tell me what's happening. Who's buried in your grave? Why did they say you were dead?" He hesitated, his eyes darting around. Finally, he whispered, "There's someone who looks like me. Almost identical. But he's not me. Melissa knows him. They planned this together. He died in the crash, not me. But they wanted you to believe it was me, so she could take everything Dad left behind." My blood turned to ice. "You mean Melissa buried a stranger in your grave?" Ethan shook his head. "Not a stranger. Someone connected to her. Her secret." Before I could ask what he meant, the sound of tires screeched outside. Ethan's face went pale. "She's here. Mom, hide." The barn door burst open. Melissa stood there, her silhouette framed in the moonlight, holding a flashlight, and something glinted in her other hand. A gun. "Margaret," she said coldly, her voice echoing. "Step away from him." I froze. "Melissa, what have you done?" She smirked. "What I had to do. That boy is not your son. He's a liar. I'm protecting you." Ethan stepped forward, anger burning in his eyes. "Stop lying. Tell her the truth, Melissa." The tension was unbearable. My hand shook. I didn't know who to believe anymore. Melissa's voice grew sharp. "Margaret, listen to me. Ethan died in that car crash. You buried him. This man is an imposter. He wants the inheritance. He wants everything." I looked at Ethan, tears in my eyes. "Son, please, prove to me it's you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn-out baseball cap, the same one from his childhood, the one only he knew I had stitched after it tore years ago. "Remember this, Mom? You told me no matter how broken it got, you'd fix it. Because that's what families do. We fix each other." My chest heaved. Memories flooded back. Only Ethan could know that. Melissa's face twisted with rage. "Enough." She raised the gun. I screamed. At that exact moment, headlights blazed again. Another car pulled up. A man stepped out. And my world shattered. It was Ethan. Another Ethan. Two identical sons stood before me. One clutching the cap, desperate, pleading. The other calm, silent, his eyes cold as steel. My knees buckled. "Oh my God, there are two of you." Melissa laughed, a cruel, echoing laugh that cut through the night. Finally, the truth comes out. She lowered the gun and pointed at the second Ethan. "This one is real. The other is a fraud. You see, Margaret, your husband had secrets. Twins. He hid the truth from you. Only one of them is your real son. The other is after your money." My head spun. My breath caught in my throat. My husband's secrets, twins? It couldn't be. I turned to the Ethan with the cap, the boy I believed in. Is this true? Are you his twin? He shook his head violently. No, Mom. Don't listen to her. I'm your son. She's manipulating everything. Please, you have to trust your heart. The other Ethan spoke finally, his voice eerily calm. She's right, Mom. He's been lying to you. I'm the one who survived. He's the one who wants everything Dad left behind. Two voices. Two faces. Both Ethan. My heart felt like it was splitting in two. Tears blurred my eyes as I screamed, "Stop. Both of you, stop." But inside, one terrifying question kept echoing. Which one is my real son, and which one is the imposter? My chest heaved as I looked at the two boys, two faces that carried my son's smile, my son's eyes. My hands trembled, my throat dry as sand. Melissa stood between them, her gun still raised, her grin growing wider. See, Margaret? This is why I never wanted you to know. Your husband wasn't the man you thought he was. He had secrets. Twins born in silence, hidden in shadows. He gave one away and raised the other. And now both are here. Her words sliced through me like knives. Twins? My husband had hidden this from me? I staggered back, clutching my chest. No, this can't be true. The Ethan with the cap, my Ethan, stepped forward. Mom, don't believe her. Dad didn't hide me. I was always with you. I'm the son you raised. Remember the nights when you tucked me in? The lullaby you sang? She's twisting everything. The other Ethan's voice was steady, almost too steady. She's not lying, Mother. I'm your blood too. Dad gave me away, but I came back. And now everything that was his name, his property, belongs to me as much as it does to him. My breath came in ragged gasps. Which one was my son? Which one had I buried in grief? Melissa's gun flicked between the two boys. Margaret, listen carefully. Only one of them can inherit. Only one of them deserves your trust. The other is dangerous. And if you choose wrong, she tilted her head, it will cost you everything. Ethan with the cap clenched his fists. You're using him. You've been planning this all along. Tell Mom the truth, that you manipulated us both. Melissa's smile didn't waver. Manipulation? No, sweetheart. I'm protecting what's mine. Your father promised me everything when he died. But when the will surfaced, everything went to you. Both of you. So, I had to choose which one would play along. And the other. She shrugged. He had to disappear. My knees buckled. So that's why the grave was disturbed. That's why Ethan had been hiding. She was controlling this nightmare. Suddenly, the calm Ethan, without the cap, turned toward Melissa, his voice dark. You promised me, Melissa. You said if I helped you, I'd get half. You lied to me. Her smile faded. You were a pawn. Nothing more. In a flash, he lunged at her. The gun went off, bang, echoing through the barn. I screamed. Dust rained from the ceiling. When the smoke cleared, Melissa was on the ground, the gun skidding across the floor. Blood seeped from her shoulder. She groaned, clutching the wound. Both boys stood frozen. My eyes darted between them. This was my chance. I had to know. I turned to the Ethan with the cap. Tell me, Ethan, the night your father died, what were his last words to you? His voice cracked, tears filling his eyes. He told me, take care of your mother. She's stronger than she knows. The other Ethan's eyes flickered, uncertainty flashing across his face. He didn't speak. My heart shattered. I knew. I finally knew. I ran to the Ethan with the cap, wrapping my arms around him. You're my son. My Ethan. The other Ethan's face twisted with rage. No, you're making a mistake. I'm your blood too. You can't just. Before he could finish, the barn door burst open. Red and blue lights flooded the darkness. Police. Drop your weapons. Someone had called them, maybe a neighbor, maybe fate itself. Officers swarmed in, handcuffing Melissa as she screamed, her lies unraveling. The other Ethan fought, shouting that he was my son, but the truth was already written in his silence, in the emptiness of his words. Weeks later, I stood again at the cemetery. But this time, the headstone had been replaced. The grave was not Ethan's. It was the other boys, the twin who had lived in shadows, poisoned by Melissa's lies. Beside me, Ethan, my real son, stood quietly, holding my hand. "Mom," he whispered, "it's over now." I nodded, though tears streamed down my face. "Yes, but we'll carry this forever. The lies. The secrets. Your father's betrayal. Melissa's greed." He squeezed my hand. "But we have each other. And that's enough." I looked at him, the boy I had raised, the boy who had nearly been stolen from me, and whispered, "You were always mine. And no one can take that away." The wind rustled the trees, carrying with it the ghosts of the past. But in that moment, I felt lighter, stronger, alive. Because the truth, no matter how dark, had finally come to light.